Hi guys, this is Sushant and welcome to our Prometheus and Grafana demo session. This is my Prometheus and Grafana which I have set up. Let me show one thing. Here is the dashboard, correct? So I have created two kind of dashboard. One is the EKS cluster where we are monitoring our server resources. Directly we can say that host, VM, CPU, VMs, RAMs, VM hard disks, VM network input output. So where you're monitoring that kind of things. And another dashboard is a Kubernetes resource monitoring. So in that dashboard we are going to monitor a resource of Kubernetes, correct? Like how many pods are running, how many replicas are running, how many services are there, how many pods are in running state, terminating state, pending state, which pods exit from success status. So that kind of thing we are going to monitor inside our Kubernetes resource monitoring dashboard and EKS cluster. So our EKS cluster, in EKS cluster dashboard, just we are monitoring a cluster, about a cluster resource, correct? So CPU kind of things, right, as I said. So actually if you go inside the dashboard, click on the dashboard, there is a one general folder, correct? So inside the general folder I have created a one EKS dashboard and another one is Kubernetes resource monitoring, correct? So we guys can segregate according to requirement, according to case. We can segregate our dashboard in folder as well, correct? So suppose that how we can do that in say simple. I am taking one example. Suppose that we have a one production server, we have a one QA server, we have a one kind of development server, right? So these these servers are work for the different segments. So QA server only for the QA guys, and development server only using by development guys who belongs to dev team, right? QA servers only used by QA person who belongs to the QA team, and some are the production server where directly client is connecting to that server, right? So we can segregate according to our folder. We will create a one new folder from here, like new folder, create a one development folder, and development server monitoring kind of all dashboard in reside inside that particular folder, correct? So according to the folders we can segregate as well. Okay, so let me open this EKS cluster. So in EKS cluster right now I am monitoring a network input output about our cluster, not about the ports and all, right? Not about the application and all, just our the cluster input output, network input output managing, right? There is one kind of things, cluster memory uses. So how many memory right now cluster is using? So that is a graphical way how it's a very beautiful looks right now. And see how many users, that is in a numerical way as well is there. And what is total is, say we actually total 4 GB RAM right now in my node server. So that's why its total is 3.8 GB and used by 2.33, correct? And number of CPU is total is 4 and used by the 0.25. So that is a very easy way, file cluster file system, monitoring cluster file system as well. There is a pod CPU user, there is a pod CPU users camps. Okay, so whatever application pod is using, whatever how many, no matter application pod, some kind of other pods is also running on our Kubernetes infra. Okay, I will show you in next step. So container CPU, that is also monitoring from here. Okay, so let me switch to the other. Okay, so there is a one other dashboard. So inside that dashboard, go and select one Kubernetes resource monitoring, correct? So this dashboard is mainly showing the cluster pod users, cluster CPU users, and cluster memory users, cluster disk users. So that kind of thing, that kind of information, prod related, application related, all information showing here. And one more thing, deployment, number of replica set, how many number of replicas is updated, deployment replication, correct? Number of nodes, how many nodes are running, how many nodes are connected with our master node, correct? So right now I have one I have one Kubernetes cluster which connected with working in the one master and two worker nodes, so that's why number of nodes is 2, because in our master node two worker node is connected right now, so that's why number of nodes is 2, and running pod is 15. Pending, how many pending pod? 0. How many for failed pod? That is also 0, and pod success is also 0 right now. Okay, pods unknown is 0. Guys, please don't relate pod running and pod success is similar kind of thing. No, actually pod running is different kind of thing, and pod success is different kind of meaning in Kubernetes perspective. Correct? Pod running is, that means running in state, and success means, that means not a no, that means not a also is running kind of thing. Success means some kind of job we have given, and that job runs once and then exit. Okay, so that kind of condition, when we are going to implement in some kind of pod, so that pod will become inside that pod is success or non-success. Okay, so that don't really relate with that running and success pod. Container, number of container, that is running one, that is 17. Container vetting, that all kind of things we can easily monitor from here. Correct? If you see, and one more thing, actually see, there is namespace. According to namespace and node, we can also monitor, we can also filter out. See, actually I have two pod is running in my default namespace, so just I want to filter it. Default, if you go inside the default, see the number of nodes is running, number of pods is from 15 to cam to 7, only 2. Number of deployment is 2, deployment updated to, that all kind of things, which pod, and if you want to know which 2 pods are running, that is showing a 2. Correct? Container is also 2. So if you want to know which pod is which 2 pod, what's the name of that 2 pod which is running inside the deployment default namespace, so for that we have to view this section, and you can easily see what's the running, which one pod is running. That is a new MySQL kind of pod which is running, that number is value is 1. Yeah, that means one pod running, one new MySQL pod is running inside that default, and another is dev spring pod is running, right? And this pod is running from 9. Correct? 9.2. 9.2 is today. Okay, 9.2, because I have configured today, that's what timestamp is coming for today. Okay, so that kind of things. Okay, but right now I'm going to again I'm switching into all, that means dot star and all, that means all pods. So there we can see that all pods, Prometheus and all. So guys, we can easily monitor from there. That's suppose that some kind of technical guys, some our team member technical guys are not right now free, they are busy in some couple of other development kind of thing. Yeah, any some live bugs or camp, so they are trying to fix that, and that meanwhile they are not monitoring such kind of thing, existing infrastructure, right? So any knock person who don't have a knowledge of much about a technical, so that guy can also monitor, that can also keep on eyes our Grafana and easily monitor our existing infrastructure, right? So that is not a main task, right? So monitoring is kind of very easy. But one more thing I want to let you know, so no matter guys are monitoring or not monitoring, they are very smarter than us. Okay, so because there is one alert manager. Correct? If we are going to set a alert, something is going to bad with our application, with our node, our infra, so that person, this Prometheus -alert manager, behalf of our team member, behalf of our organization, that person will work for us and send an alert to us on our particular mail. Yeah, if you provided any kind of number, alerting kind of number, messaging kind of number, so that on number they will send a mail regarding that something is going to bad according to your condition. Suppose that we are going to configure a one kind of rule. So if any nodes reach 90% of CPU, yeah, 90% of RAM, then alert that particular guys who belong from infra team, right? So infra team will be take care why this is going to this kind of thing, why this is happening, why our RAM CPU usage is 90%, yeah, more than 90%, and why it's reaching to up to 90%. Correct? So that kind of thing we can also configure. If something is going to bad with our deployment, where our pod is going to terminate state. So we can set a alert here. See, something is going with bad with our pod, something is going to ban our Kubernetes cluster resources. So we can send this all kind of alert message to Kubernetes guys who is belong for Kubernetes team, who is managing a Kubernetes resource, right? So that kind of alert we can easily configure here, so they can be auto trigger if something could if some kind of condition will be true, right? So this kind also, so that there is a one alert manager, so that alert manager will be send a alert to us, so we can easily monitor, right? So we can see that. And I want to let you know, see, first of all, go in our dashboard. So that's about our Grafana and all. As you know that Grafana is a just kind of visualization tools, right? And how you guys are thinking about how these are data come into come onto the Grafana dashboard. So in that, behind of this picture, behind of this beautiful visualization, there is a one kind of database, so that is a Prometheus. Grafana actually taking a data from a Prometheus have kind of some of agent is running on our node. That agent is forwarding such all the data, whatever activities are happening on our cluster, whatever activities happening on our application, that are activities, that are logs sending to the our Prometheus, and from Prometheus, Grafana is taking that kind of on, and that is showing in very good manner. So that kind of thing we can easily monitor from here. So actually I have created one EKS cluster. I will let you know, this is my personal account, Sushant, and that's AWS provider. You guys can know AWS is very popular right now in this industry and IT industry mostly. We can say that most of the industry, because AWS have lots of service that is related to all kind of things. Okay, so anybody if you want to do any kind of works, that all services are available on AWS, feel free to use it, but make sure this is as pay as you go, as you use, right? So be careful, something is not totally free, you have to pay some amount if you are going to use. Okay, so just I'm going inside that Amazon EKS, right? So Amazon EKS, one of the managed service, Kubernetes managed service provided by AWS. So there is no need to worry about how will we connect the host, how will we configure a networking, how will we configure that kind of we can say that package and all, right? Which package is required for the cluster, I mean master cluster, which package is required for the node. So that no need to worry about here, just you need to select what you want to do, and whatever required for that particular work, particular job, that will be all managed by the AWS team, correct? So this is my EKS. So inside actually I have created, and same EKS cluster data is coming on our Grafana dashboard, correct? So EKS, there is a one kind of URL and all that kind of thing. See, that is Kubernetes version is already 1.222. actually I did not install this version, I just select that version. I need a 1.222. you can select early updated, yeah, below one as well, while creating a EKS cluster, correct? So these are the basic thing. Right now it's active, provision by provider by EKS. If you go inside the resource, also you can see here which kind of resource this is a Kubernetes proxy, that is a proxy kind of thing. There's a MySQL and all, so you can easily monitor from here. Actually we can monitor from here as well. You can see how many pods are running, how many replica set are running, how many deployments are running, how many statefuls are running, because AWS have a kind of monitoring facility as well. Okay, so we can monitor from here as well. So mostly go into the compute is showing how many nodes are connected, right? As you able to see, total number of nodes is here 2. Okay, number of nodes is 2. So same kind of thing you can get, total number of node is 2 here, right? So same data is going to visualize on our Grafana dashboard as well. If I am going to click on this, right, so you can see memory, about memory as well, right? So memory is value. Okay, so total number of pod is 11 is showing, users kind of showing. Okay, so allows 2 CPUs allows. Okay, Two CPUs allowed. Correct, correct, correct. Correct. T2 is small. Our instance type is T2 is small. Container runtime engine is Docker. Right. kubectl version is this. Okay. Node name is node 1. Node group is node 1. Correct. So these are, that is my instance ID. Actually, I have created 31st August. Right. Created on 31st August. So these are the data is there, and these are pods are running on that. Correct. So this actually I have created 2 hour ago. So that kind of things is actually available on that. So same, so we can say that same our cluster we are going to monitor. So EKS cluster resource we are going to monitor on our Grafana. So same, actually that is our real infra, which is right now running on our AWS cloud provider, right? So that all cloud provider is running on, but yeah, there is no need to worry about that, but you need to worry about that some kind of credential, uh, which kind of access is required, right? So that some access is required while creating. I go through that. Let me go to that, what kind of access is required. There is some couple of access the role we need to provide at our cluster, right? Some actually I have created two kind of roles. So one is our cluster role, EKS cluster role. If you go inside that low role and search about the EKS, right? So one is the EKS cluster role and one is another is the EKS worker node role. So I have created two because while creating the EKS they will ask to provide some kind of privilege, because that cluster behalf of you all the tasks going to done by that cluster. So that cluster is asking to give a access, correct? So they don't, how they will know you are going to you are saying do this, yeah, some kind of provision. So they are asking to give me access. If you want to behalf of you, I need to configure this all. So you have to give me access. For that access I have created on role, and that role should be attached with that particular worker node, particular cluster master node. So that got access to connect with that all kind of to complete that all kind of requirement, all kind of activities whatever required for configuring the EKS, yeah, Kubernetes. Correct. So these are the basic things. If you guys want to know that what is the EKS, so you can easily go through the Google and search it EKS, and there is a very article, Amazon article is provided, which a document is very popular and very well managed and documented right now in market from AWS as well. There is the Amazon Elastic Kubernetes service, right? So you can easily set up your Kubernetes infrastructure couple of minutes, we can say that couple of minutes or couple of hours, that is more than to set up our EKS cluster without knowing much about EKS, without knowing much about Kubernetes, right? So provision of Kubernetes, no need to worry about how will you provision that Kubernetes and all. So you can easily configure and easily set up that kind of thing. So these are all about my which whatever I did. So I have already elaborated. And one more thing I want to let you know about that data, because lots of person worry about that data, what will be happen if something going to bad, right? So as you know that EBS is some kind of persistent volume that if you are not going to terminate that EBS, so that 1 minute EC2 that data will be not lost, because for that you have to manually terminate that kind of volume. Suppose that EBS is just like your hard disk, right? So some hard disks, until you are not going to until you are not going to break that hard disk, so data will be still there. Okay, so some kind of thing is go inside that volume. If you go inside that volume, there is lots of volume created by this. You can see that managed by this. So whatever dynamic, these are the dynamic PVC actually I have provision for that our Grafana and Prometheus, so that alerts will be there. So these all this all volume, these all hard disks, we can say that is all hard disks is totally attached with our Kubernetes cluster. So no matter if anyone can come here and terminate our application and all, but data should be still there, because data is storing here, right, in our permanent hard disk space. So in our permanent hard disk space data is storing. So no matter, so once if our application, if our code is going to destroy or terminate, we can spin another pod, another application, and that pod we directly connect with that particular hard disks whichever related to that, right? Suppose that app one belongs from wall this one, right, this hard disk, so that again we will create a app one and connect with this hard disk, so that data will be still there, that application should be alive. So no need to worry about that, correct? So one more thing what I need to explain. Okay, so that is the actual thing. So actually I introduced, this is the basic kind of things about Kubernetes and all, so no need to worry about the data as well. So data is storing in the person. But one more thing, if some parts are going to destroy, if some parts are going to terminate, so no need to execute by ourselves, yeah, by yourself to execute a newer port, because one kind of set is their replica set is managing a replication. They know about, though keep actually Kubernetes keep watching our resource, keep tracking a resource. If something is going bad, if some pod is going to terminate, right, so they are spinning automatically, they will be spinning a newer one, and that should be connected with that particular hard disk, correct? So no need to worry about that, no need to worry about that. These all kind of activities managed by Kubernetes, no need to worry about that. Just we have to configure, we have to give a proper instruction to our cluster, to our Grafana, which kind of activity you need to perform according to our condition. So that all activities will done by Grafana and from EKS cluster, Kubernetes cluster, behalf of us, right, behalf of us. So no need to worry about that, correct? So these all about these all, actually these are the basic things I want to introduce for today. So that's all from my side. Thanks for the watching. Bye bye.